Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
We are a nation in decline.
Experts are preparing for what is known as Disease X, or the next pandemic.
What we are seeing is a revolution against the system.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to Rise and Grind with Vince Tagliavia, the show where we talk about the news and events in the morning, Monday through Friday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Time, 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. Welcome, one and all. Typically, we start off with a little bit of finance, but today's a special day. It's President's Day, so happy President's Day, everybody out there. I named the title of the show Happy Resident Day, considering who is in the White House, or is he even in the White House today? Probably not. Maybe he already called a lid, or he's on vacation. But happy Resident Day to him. Happy President's Day to everybody else. And hope you're all doing well on this beautiful Monday morning. We're going to get into the news, go at it for about an hour, covering the things that I find most relevant to the morning. Make sure you follow me on x.com. You could just search for my name and find me there. Tag me in anything that you think I need to get some eyes on or read about or follow. And I'll be sure to keep my eyes open for that and follow you back as well. Good morning, RMU, Quiet Toad. Good to see you guys over there on pilled.net, the place for free speech. Shout out, good morning to Kai1111. Glad you got your coffee ready. Thank you for tuning in this morning. And hey, Lucas, good to see you, my friend. Hope y'all are doing good. Let's get into it. Well, instead of getting right into finance, I wanted to take a minute and we can hang our heads for the legacy media that is not doing so hot. Let's start with this little doozy here.
The past couple of weeks are showing once again just how tough the business of news is right now.
American journalism is changing.
It's the largest workforce reduction in the paper's 142-year history.
Newspapers are in decline.
The Washington Post is undergoing layoffs.
TV stations are losing viewership.
For the first time ever, broadcast and cable TV usage fell below 50% in a single month.
And coverage is disappearing in smaller communities.
Well, it means the rise of news deserts. Residents in communities, hundreds of communities, even thousands in this country, have very limited access to the sort of news and information that's been the lifeblood of our democracy.
At Discovery Institute, we are filling that gap with cutting-edge independent journalism and deep dive investigations.
Seattle-based senior fellow with the Discovery Institute, Jonathan Cho, shot that disturbing video.
Our work continues to gain national attention as we influence conversations around public policy and government accountability.
There's a common refrain in this city. You hear it all the time now. You get what you vote for. And this is pretty much a call out to the folks who remain indifferent.
But our focus remains the streets of Seattle and the raw realities in this region.
You pay $20 for that, Fetty?
Yeah.
I got a dude coming at me with nunchucks.
Showcasing what's working and what's not.
How do you justify that price tag, Governor? How about you? When are you going to face the Chinatown community?
And more importantly, we are on the front lines of a citizen-led media revolution.
They're human beings, man. Yep. They're somebody's mother, father.
Disrupting the status quo.
Vote for this bill and clean up this damn city.
And taking back our neighborhoods. So if you believe our journalism matters more than ever, please consider partnering up with us to help expand our program. We can't do it without you.
This video put out there by Jonathan Cho, a great journalist out there for anybody interested in following him. He's in the Seattle area and covers a lot of the news happening in commie Washington State. Jonathan Cho there with his nice little infomercial about the legacy media. Thought it would be fun to start with that before we get into the thick of it, which is now moving on to finance. Let's get on with it. There are only so many hours in the morning. So let's get on with the news. The stock market's all red across the board, except oil's up a bit. Pardon me. Gold is up a bit. It's still just hovering over $2,000 at $2,026.10. Silver's at $23 even right now. Bitcoin still way up there, $52,072.31. Hilarious headlines here on the front page. On Yahoo Finance. It says here, belief in a soft landing gets its first gut check. Yeah, right. Soft landing. And who was anticipating a soft landing? This is part of the narrative they've been pushing. Is this like the transitory inflation that everybody's holding their breath for to go away? It's not happening, is it? Good googly moogly. Well, didn't we just have the UK enter a recession officially last week? And I asked the question, who is next? Some people said Japan. Some people said Germany. Well, if you guessed Germany, you would be correct. One of my favorite people out there on x.com, Peter Stange, put out a little video about that, wraps it up very nicely. Also, there's a nice article. Who wrote this article? We'll talk about it after. Let's hear what Peter Stange has to say about Germany first. Sorry, Kai. Thank you. No sound. My goodness. Let me fix that for y'all real quick. We'll go back here. This is important.
Germany, Europe's largest economy, is deindustrializing faster than a grad student can throw soup at a Picasso, setting itself up as the first big victim of the green jihad and their Stone Age fetish for making us eat bugs. Fresh data says Germany's industrial production fell for the 7th straight month, bringing it to levels last seen in 2006, that's 18 years ago. Another 5%, and they'll be at 1990s levels when the Berlin Wall fell. As Ms. Shedlock put it, quote, Germany's industrial superpower days are over. Of course, while Germany's largest industrial economy in Europe, the problem is Europe-wide, given the influence environmental activists have in Brussels, extending way beyond throwing soup at Picassos all the way to deindustrializing the continent and handing their economic destiny to a third world who China and Russia are busy recruiting into their anti-Western BRICS bloc. As Bloomberg put it, quote, Germany's industrial machine have fallen like dominoes, with the final blow, quote, the end of cheap Russian natural gas. Hope the Ukraine meat grinder was worth it. So first the numbers. Germany's output slumped 1.6% on the previous month. That's an annualized 1/5 drop, almost 20%. Economists had expected 0.3% growth, suggesting that Europe's mainstream economists are as useless as our own. The biggest drops were energy and tech-intensive sectors, where the Greens have replaced cheap fossil fuels with trillion-dollar gimmicks, paving the continent with dodgy solar and bird-chopping windmills. Construction fell 3.4%, chemicals dropped 7.6% to 1995 levels. Energy dropped 15% in 1 month, as Germany's last nuclear reactor, its last lifeline, was mothballed. To give a sense, Bloomberg profiled a Dusseldorf steel plant closing after 124 years, laying off everybody but the guys whose job is to disassemble the machinery and presumably sell it for pennies on the dollar to China. The data would have been worse, but for a rebound in cars, where American and European consumers are digging even deeper into debt to make up for the cars they didn't buy during the supply chain crisis. And also airplanes, where Boeing's clown show has driven orders to their main competitor, Europe's Airbus, with China waiting in the wings.
Wow.
So what's driving it? Easy energy. As Brussels deconstructs Europe's productive economy, so the weather gods stop making grad students glue themselves to highways. In just 3 years, Germany's energy prices have jumped almost 150%, driven both by decommissioning local energy and by the Russia sanctions and green activists who have now shuttered both nuclear and coal, leaving renewable gimmicks to pretend to provide energy. Wow. Ironically, even solar panels are cutting staff and closing down, hampered by energy prices. It takes a crap load of energy to make a solar panel. And by cutthroat competition from China, which dumped trillions of subsidies into its own solars, which in turn are wiping out Europe's crony green manufacturers as well as America's. So what's next? Brought to you by Unchained.com. What's next is Europe is disassembling its economy and shipping it overseas, with America not far behind. Wow. German chemical giant BASF just plowed $10 billion into a state-of-the-art manufacturing complex in China. The West is throwing away energy, is throwing away farming, is throwing away manufacturing, handing it on a silver platter to countries too poor to have climate cult grad students deciding their economic destiny. But what ended? Easy, populists gaining power and actually helping the industries that sustain our prosperity. The global uniparty, of course, likes what's happening just fine and will do everything they can to prevent that. A new episode of the podcast just dropped. Check it out at petersatange.com. Okay, we'll be watching. See you next time.
Wow. Wowzers. Yeah, Germany just kicking themselves in the butt, and the U.S. not far behind. I mean, we see this in the West with a lot of these European countries and whatnot. Horrible situation. So this is the ripple effect that we can expect. The soft landing we're witnessing the soft landing right now. Germany is a hot mess. Left Maryland. Interestingly, I posted an AI video over the weekend. I don't know, was that Friday or was it Saturday? I don't remember. But I posted an AI video about the latest and greatest AI technology released by OpenAI, their AI called Sora, which is pretty awesome. If you guys didn't catch that, then go check out that video on Sora, the AI. It's pretty awesome. But after Sora made that announcement, Elon Musk came out on the 17th, on Saturday, and it must have been the same day or just a day after, and basically said something pretty interesting here. I don't think a lot of people caught this here. In response to this video about that is about OpenAI, Elon Musk responds and says, Tesla has been able to do real-world video generation with accurate physics for about a year. And the reason why he said this is because what OpenAI's Sora does is it uses a text prompt to create 60-second videos. They could be hyper-realistic. They could mimic any animation style, and they're pretty phenomenal and pretty great. There's a little bit of errors and stuff, but they're pretty remarkable, to say the least. But he said that they've had this technology for over a year, and basically he wasn't impressed. Elon Musk writes, "It wasn't super interesting because all the training data came from the cars, so it just looks like video from a Tesla, albeit with a dynamically generated, not remembered world." Just interesting. So I wonder what kind of technologies in the shadows with Tesla. I mean, that gives us a good idea, but how advanced is this technology really, right? How much out there maybe is AI that we don't realize? I don't know. It's getting to that point though. And certainly in the future, it'll be that way. Hey, shout out to Chris Large. Good morning, Chris. Good to see you, man. I was visiting your channel about 12 hours ago. Thanks for joining. You guys should go subscribe to Chris Large's channel. It's great. He walks through nature and discusses the world events. So go check that out for sure sometime. Good to see you, Chris. Hope all is well. All right, onward. Let's check out what else we got. Just to finish off finance, let's talk about Iran real quick. Iran transported $2.8 billion worth of oil in 2023 under Washington's nose. So despite this trade war going on, Iran is still able to transport tons of oil last year. Army Mom, good morning, everyone. Good morning, Army Mom. Hope you're doing well. I'm sure you've got your coffee hot and ready. Thank you for joining this morning to go over the news. All right, let's check over here on the chat real quick before we go on. Hey, Alex, how are you doing? Good morning, Matt. Good to see you. Thank you, guys. All right. All right. Thank you, Army Mom. I appreciate that. Hit the like button and all of that. Thank you so much. Onward, let's get into a little bit of this social collapse, doom and gloom for a second. Bear with me. We'll get back to a positive note here soon. But there were 6 people shot at a Waffle House in Indianapolis, Indiana. Last I heard, 1 person died, 5 people were injured. I posted this, and then Josh Sigurdson from World Alternative Media commented, and he's like, "Why is it always a Waffle House?" And I was like, you know what? Maybe there's actually something there. Why is it always a Waffle House? Is there some weird, like, mind control thing going on that somehow connects to Waffle House? If anybody, I mean, that's a rabbit hole right there. I bet the sad thing is that it probably is. Anyway, not to get conspiratorial on this morning's coverage, but who knows, right? Let's go on here. We have a video here. I guess we're going to stay in this lane of things. Look, you can't hide from the truth anymore. I think people are having a harder and harder time keeping their eyes shut. Things are just, they're out there. The information's there. You've got people like Tucker. You've got all kinds of good folks talking about the truth. Listen to Tucker here. Oh, are you fuck? Oh, thank you, Chris. My gosh, what is my problem today? I'm just half asleep or something. Let me start this over, folks. I apologize. And thank you, Chris, for pointing that out to me. Let's see if I can do this right.
May I just answer one question raised by your eloquent and absolutely right analysis of the World Economic Forum? And that is, what spirit animates them? Well, if you believe people are the problem, then that is, of course, a genocidal spirit. If I believe that the problem with my kitchen is it has too many mice, the solution is to kill the mice. Too many roaches, I kill the roaches. They're the problem. They're the impediment. And so make no mistake, and this sort of tracks with what I was saying earlier, don't lie to yourself about the agenda. If people are the problem and you're a person, then your life is in the way of whatever goals they're seeking to achieve. By definition, am I missing something? No, I'm not. But all of us, it's so grotesque because, to further elaborate in one sentence, it's a demonic spirit, just to be clear. Any spirit that seeks to hurt, kill, divide, demoralize other people is a demonic spirit by definition. So that's what animates it. You're the target, and don't lie to yourself.
Don't lie to yourself, because, you know, if anybody denies that, that's pretty sound logic to me. You can't really debate that. You can't. I mean, it's crazy the logical maneuvers you have to make in order to deny that analysis there by Tucker Carlson. So shout out to Tucker. Man, has he been hitting the ball out of the park lately. And thank you, Forrest, for the donation over there. I appreciate that. All right. By the way, I released the chess on DLive. I'm going to try to get in the habit of doing that for you. And also on Pilled, I don't know, I could release scratch offs on Pilled. You guys want that to happen? I could do that now. There you go. All right, onward here. Pro-Hamas militants blocking numerous streets in downtown Seattle over the weekend. This happens again and again and again and again. We're just going to move on. Just these cities are really crumbling, and these protesters are pretty wild. So we'll just keep our eye on these things as they unfold. Just put that on the board. Sorry about that. Ike, okay, I think we're good on the sound now, though. Yeah. If you're interested in this lane of things, which everybody should be at least aware of what's going on, I recommend you go check this out. Elon Musk posted it. Other people posted it as well. It's trending a bit. The War on Children. A full-length film is available on X. It's 2 hours. I have yet to watch it, but I recommend you search it out, and I'll repost it if you want to just find it on my Twitter. That's one place you could watch it if you want to check that out today. So especially for parents, Elon Musk says, others say everybody needs to be aware of this. So one thing to check out if you were unaware that came out. There you go. President Trump had some speeches the last few days, and he calls out Joe Biden. I'll just play one clip from that. And guess what? I'm going to share the sound for the clip. Yes, sirree. Let's listen to what Trump had to say here.
I thought it was more befitting for Joe, because he's the most corrupt president we've ever had. He's a Manchurian candidate, actually. You know what a Manchurian candidate is? This guy's getting so much money from so many countries that they can't even figure it out. I thought it was more befitting for Joe, because he's the most corrupt president we've ever had. He's a Manchurian candidate.
He's a Manchurian candidate. He's talking about Joe Biden being a Manchurian candidate. If you don't know what a Manchurian candidate is, which I'm sure many of you do, if not all of you, it is somebody who is controlled by outside forces. All right. That's what it is. And Trump just laying it out there. Trump's not holding back. If you listen to him, he tells the truth. It's pretty it's pretty nice for a change to hear truth, huh? Well, Trump always was that way, but anyway. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you to the new subs on YouTube. I got a bunch of new followers on YouTube from my trucker videos, so I appreciate that. Welcome, Freebird. Thank you for tuning into the live show that we all come together for in the morning times. I appreciate the follow, and I'll probably have an update if things unfold further with the trucker protest that starts today. It's trending big time on Truth. Pardon me. Trending on Twitter as well. There's a lot of speculation about it. There's a lot of back and forth. It's highly controversial. Boy, is it controversial. I'm getting a lot of people yelling at me online because of that one. But we'll see how it unfolds. It's supposed to start today. It is the truckers boycotting delivering to New York. And there are questions on how widespread it was going to be and this and that. A lot of people are very confident. A lot of other people are saying it's worthless, it's useless, it's a nothing burger. And then I noticed a CEO of a logistics company was tweeting out the other day that he is not sending anything out to New York. And then there was a trucker who posted a video saying, I don't know if this is true, this whole protest situation, but I just got off the phone and I was told that we're not doing any deliveries to New York. So to some extent, there is a protest. We'll see how big of an effect that has on New York and where that goes from here. But a lot of truckers are aware of this and refusing to go to New York. I mean, I've had a lot of them reach out to me yesterday and this morning. I haven't been able to even keep up with the comments. That video's gone so crazy on YouTube. So thank you all for watching it and commenting and retweeting it. But a lot of truckers are commenting saying they're not up for it. But I will admit there were a couple people who claim to be truckers, whether that's true or not, I don't know, who aren't for it. And the reality is there are people out there who are truckers who maybe don't agree with this thing. Maybe some of you don't. But anyway, if there's any updates on that, I'll certainly post that probably this evening, because as you know, I've got things to do. And after this, my days are busy, but I'll certainly make a video tonight if there is any update or a major breaking story or anything. So hit your notifications, because I may go live or I may just record it and post it. But either way, turn those notifications on if you want these news updates and alerts, especially if I find something juicy or unique that that needs to be shared. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate that. Lucas, what do you got here? If the truckers started boycotting Chicago, things would turn quickly to the purge. Yeah, that's what they're saying about New York too. Man, hopefully people don't panic. I mean, this is why everybody should prepare beforehand for anything that might happen. That includes trucker protests, that includes natural disasters, earthquakes. I talk about all this. I'm probably preaching to the choir, but seriously, a little bit of preparation goes a long way. Onward. Onward. Hochul tells New York businesses not to fear about Trump verdict. The Trump verdict. People are calling it corrupt, bogus, and all kinds of names. Nothing to worry about, Hochul says. What people are concerned about is now this is setting a precedent where now people that are in the same boat as Trump, where they haven't committed a crime, they've paid off their taxes, everything seems fine, they're going to be targeted, right? Trump is going to appeal this. Obviously, they asked him to pay $355 million going through the appeal process. This is also the reason why these truckers are protesting New York. Kai, I can't remember the company name, but at least one CEO is in support of the trucker boycott. Yeah, I don't remember the company name either, but it is in that video, in my other video. Just in the first 5 seconds, you could see that information there. The video is titled CEO is with the truckers or something like that. Freebird, I agree with the boycott all day. Yeah, I think most people do. Some people don't, and that's okay. I mean, everybody's at their different point in their journey, but I think it's an important thing to talk about amongst each other. Let's see. How's Kamala's approval rating? What do you guys think? Kamala, Newsweek. All right, Newsweek here published an article early this morning titled Kamala Harris's approval rating as voices grow for Joe Biden replacement. Hold on a second. Did they change this title or something? Oh, they say her approval rating remains low. That's what they say. Nobody's surprised by that. Let's move on. California Democrats introduce a bill that would force homeowners and renters to disclose the number of firearms that they have. And this would be to insurance companies and the government. And the Gateway Pundit curated an article on this topic. And they talk about the failures to erode the Second Amendment and how they're going at it again. This was introduced on February 16th, and it would force homeowners and renters to disclose information about firearms they own. Just ridiculous. You know, as we see more and more crime, they always start trying to get some gun legislation slipped in there, don't they? Army mom didn't know she ever had an approval rating. No kidding. Onward. Apparently Joe Biden gave legal status with a stroke of a pen to 500,000 Venezuelan criminal aliens so they could get jobs. Just, you know, continuing us on the path of what does Trump call it? A nation in decline. And then we have videos of people up in arms about this migrant situation. I mean, it's you can't ignore it, especially if you're in New York or some other major city where it's just on the streets and it's unavoidable. People are noticing it. Let's watch this quick little clip here for a quick second, brought to you by Fox News. And I promise there will be audio.
Said you couldn't believe that he's doing this during Black History Month.
Well, when we say he,
not necessarily the mayor, it's the city, DSS and DHS. You know, they're doing this. They snuck them in here in Harlem with no transparency. You know, we coming out and we see bunk beds being moved in. What's going on? And nobody was aware that this was happening. No one. I reached out to...
Nobody was aware that this was happening. We're going to stop it there. That video is a few minutes long. If you want to see it, I've reposted it on Twitter. On X. Pardon me. Twitter's no more. Thank you, Alex, for the donation. I appreciate that. Very nice. Thank you. I appreciate it. Anyway, let's get on with it. There's a few more things I want to cover here and then get on with my day. I have a lot of work to do today. I'm sure, actually, it's President's Day. Some of you maybe have the day off. If that's the case, enjoy it. And we'll be in touch. I'll do a video tonight or tomorrow morning for sure at the same place, same time. But that's not it. We're going to keep going here for another half hour or so. San Francisco appoints first non-citizen to serve on elections commission. What is going on? San Francisco appoints first non-citizen to serve on elections commission. Callie Wong, who came into the U.S. in 2019 from China and isn't legally allowed to vote, will be overseeing and creating policy for the San Francisco Department of Elections. How? How is this legal? Wong is an immigrant rights advocate who wants to educate other immigrants who don't speak English about the voting process. Imagine that people who don't want to integrate by doing the least and learn the national language would be deciding on the future of an American city. Insanity. I mean, therefore I am. Writes on X. This is absolutely absurd. Let's see. Do we have any good news? We don't have any good news yet. But we'll get, I think maybe we have, do we have anything? Yeah, we have a little bit of funny stuff later we'll look at. But let's first talk about a little bit of what's going on with this story here. Apparently, the reporter who's accused of being a spy, Alexei Navalny, his body is being held for 14 days before discussing release. His body is in Russia. This is developing. This was posted by Chuck Calesto just about an hour ago. Still developing. There's some interesting things unfolding about that. People were skeptical from the start when he passed away. And there's been a little bit of weird stuff like the Biden administration saying that if he did, after he was arrested in Russia, that if he passed away, there'd be major consequences. I'm summarizing, but that was said. And then he happens to pass away, and there hasn't been anything yet. But they're accusing obviously Putin, and then Putin and Russia, they're denying it vehemently. But it's a horrible situation. And then there's this. I'm going to call it a rumor because I haven't confirmed this myself. But on X, somebody posted here, "Breaking Alerter" is their name, but it's not a very big account, so this could be BS. So please take this with a grain of salt. But they said that the widow of Alexei Navalny claims he was poisoned with Novichok and accuses Russia of hiding his body. Okay, so that's kind of part of the narrative there, I suppose. Who knows what's going on? We'll find out more information as it develops, I'm sure, and as people that are focusing on this get it all put together nice in a little package for us to dissect. This guy Richard posted some information that let's just consider it allegations at this point. I have not personally verified any of this, but Richard says, here's a small reminder of Alexei Navalny, who Alexei Navalny truly was, before Western media portray him as a saintly martyr for the democratic liberal values. In reality, Navalny was a minor Russian neo-Nazi who in the early 2000s filmed low-budget racist video clips equating Muslims to cockroaches that needed to be eradicated with legal firearms. Horrible story, and I'll leave it at that. There's more here posted by this Richard fellow on X, but this is an interesting story, and I'm just going to let it develop further before I go into it, because I'll be honest, I don't know what is going on there, but it stinks. It stinks. I will tell you, it stinks. All right. Let's see here. All right, we're going to get on with it. So this morning, there were early reports of significant explosions in the Sedan area of Lebanon. Apparently, there are intense Israeli airstrikes in that area. This was just breaking 2-3 hours ago in the morning. There is video of the incident, and let's check that out. And this is further out from where we've seen attacks so far, apparently. This is what I'm hearing. I'll turn down the audio a little bit here. But yeah, look at that explosion. And I think they pan over and you can see more explosions off in the distance there. I mean, can't we just have peace? I don't care if the explosions is here, there, or anywhere. I just want a little bit of peace, for Pete's sake. I think that we've had enough of this. Let's see. Israeli airstrikes located in Lebanon. The area is considerably farther north than where the usual fighting is taking place, Joe Truzman says on X. And here's a weird story. Have you guys, I mean, I know a lot of you have heard, we've talked about this stuff, the things burning up in the atmosphere. Over the last few years, there have been a lot of incidents of things burning in the atmosphere. 2019, 2020, around that area, there was one that was cited over Oregon, and then maybe it was 2021 even, and then there was just one 2 months ago or 3 months ago as well, or maybe even a month ago. Now we're having this story here. An out-of-control satellite is hurtling towards Earth to hit atmosphere on Wednesday morning. They say Wednesday morning, but I don't know. Breaking alerter. They said that an uncontrolled satellite is expected to hurtle through Earth's atmosphere on Wednesday, almost 30 years after it was launched. The satellite, known as ERS-2, is expected to break up into pieces on re-entry, the majority of which will burn up. Because the re-entry is natural, in other words, not controlled by humans, it is impossible to predict exactly when and where it will happen, according to European Space Agency, the ESA. The ERS-2. So let's see, ERS-2. I'm going to look this up, see if there's any articles written on it. Yeah, and this European Space Agency predicts when a dead satellite is likely to return to Earth. I'm just skeptical about everything, considering how much stuff we've been lied to about. So yeah, a satellite's going to be coming down. Hopefully it doesn't hit me, but they don't know when or where, but it will be Wednesday morning, so they do know when. But you know what? My mind starts thinking like, okay, is this really something that's been destroyed that they're expecting to come down somewhere? Like, this is just suspicious. This is just suspicious to me. But who knows? Maybe it just is a satellite out of control and it's going to come into our atmosphere sometime. But you know what? Who knows these days, man? Seriously, who knows? USA Today wrote an article on it. Houston Chronicles as well. This has kind of been talked about for about 2 weeks now. Just wild. I thought I would share that. More weird stories. Actually, this is just not weird. This is just pretty much straight propaganda from Newsweek. Newsweek again with a horrible article. We covered a Newsweek article. They should just call it Week News instead of Newsweek. They wrote an article titled "Warlord Putin Needs Ukraine War to Retain Power," according to a NATO official. And this article is ridiculous. I was just laughing reading this morning. Let me show you. Putin is a warlord now, Estonian Foreign Minister Margus Toskna told Newsweek on the sidelines of the Munich Security Conference in southern Germany on Friday, as reports emerged of Ukraine's retreat from the embattled city of Avdiivka after 2 years of intense fighting there, which I think Russia just took. Quote, his legacy will be war, Toskna added. Quote, Probably without the war, he's out of office. He continued, quote, he must have the war continued because his society is war law, war economy, and the war regime without any kind of democracy. Yeah. And they say, like, Putin's a warlord now. Putin's the war guy. He'll forever be known as Putin, the war machine, or whatever. I was just like, I don't know. Anyway, let's move on. All right. I'm getting hungry. What time is the Daytona 500 going to? Got Need for Speed food to get ready. I don't know. Let me know how that goes. Is that today? And then we have this article too. This is on RT.com. And man, I look at all these articles and they come from various sources, and I listen to different people's perspectives, and we look at it together. Take it all with a grain of salt, because look, it's hard to tell what's what and everything, no matter how many articles you read, how many people you listen to, who knows what's actually going on. RT.com writes, Germany gives time frame for possible Russian attack on NATO, per Bloomberg. Berlin is reportedly engaged in defense planning despite Moscow's dismissal of any suggestion of a direct conflict with a bloc member. I can't predict if and when an attack on NATO territory might occur, Bloomberg quoted Pistorius as saying, but it could happen in 5 to 8 years, he claimed. And yeah, it could happen anytime. I mean, it could happen now. It could happen in 5 years. It could happen in 10 years. It could happen in 20 years. It could happen in 30 years. Like, okay. The narrative is, though, that Putin's crazy. He wants to take over the world. That's the narrative. But we all heard Tucker's interview with Putin, and that did not seem to be the case. Although I don't trust Putin as much as I trust any of these other folks. I'll tell you that. But I do think there are deceptions on either side, I will say, for sure. All right. Thank you, Kai. Let's see. Onward. New 3 high-ranking Myanmar officers sentenced to death for surrendering a town, according to military sources. This Myanmar situation's something. Let's take a quick look at this. Myanmar's junta has sentenced to death 3 high-ranking officers who oversaw the surrender of a strategic town on the Chinese border to ethnic minority fighters last month, military sources told AFP. Hundreds of troops put down their weapons and handed them over to Lakai in Shan State to the so-called Three Brotherhood Alliance after months of fighting that saw the military lose swaths of territory. After the surrender, the officers and their troops were allowed to leave the area by the alliance, and they've been put to death. Yeah, Insider Paper wrote more on that if you want to check it out. Let's lighten up a little bit here, kind of. This is still grounded in truth, which is why it's so funny. But Jim Brewer's just killing it out there, and once in a while, somebody will post one of his stand-up routines out there, and we'll check it out. All right, let's check this out. I'll make sure I share the sound with you this time. Oh my gosh. I love Jim Brewer. He's doing a fantastic job out there, and he's doing a lot of interviews, and he's touring, or I don't know if he's touring right now, but he does a lot of stand-up. I'm not sure where or when, but you could Google him, and I'm sure find any tour dates if he is touring or what he's doing. He goes to a lot of things, so he gets out. He gets out. Thank you, Kai. You could tell me here. You could always reach out to me on x.com or whatever, but make sure you guys follow me over on Rumble. I'll post other content there that I might not necessarily post on YouTube. And you could also follow me on pilled.net and other places if you're over there. You could ask me for more information on how to do that if you need to create an account. But I'll post exclusive content over there as well, additional content that I won't even put on Rumble. So it's like there's content kind of everywhere. So if you're interested in that stuff, please, you can contact me if you need help, or just Google it. You'll find it. Rumble.com, VinceTagliavia. Rise and Grind with Vince is the name of the show. Anywho, you can also go to my website in the description and find all that information. We're going to end with another fun video. I want to give a shout out to somebody in a second with that video, but I have a lot of health information that I'm not going to go over today. I'm going to stop this show because in a minute, I want to watch this funny video with you guys before that, but I'll post the health stuff on my X account, and I may discuss it in another video as well, but I think it's going to be longer than 15 minutes to go through it, and it's pretty heavy, and it's quite the change of topic. Anyway, too many excuses. Let's watch this funny video. Excuse me. Shout out to Mama Bear. Thank you, Mama Bear, for sharing this hilarious video. I just love it. We'll end on this, and then we'll go about our days. I got a lot to do. You got a lot to do. And I appreciate you all for tuning in. Let's watch. What happened to the audio? Did you guys lose audio too? Oh my gosh, what the heck? Such hilarious dance moves. I don't know if my audio is still playing or what's going on. But with that said, everybody, thank you for tuning in. Thank you to all the new subscribers. Hope you enjoyed the little news show that I do. I'll update the trucker stuff later if anything comes up that's urgent, and we'll just watch how that all unfolds. And I look forward to that. Anything else as well. So turn on your notifications, and we'll meet up here if anything breaks or anything. So turn on those notifications in case I go live. And love you too. Love you too. They got the funk. Absolutely. I love that. It's just some cheery stuff. You know, despite all this stuff going on, we got to stay positive and just keep the ball rolling. So if you've got a day off today, enjoy it. If you've got to work, don't worry. Me too. We just got to keep on pushing. With that said, everybody, take care. God bless and Godspeed.
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
...2024 may be the year of a black swan event.
The 9 most terrifying words in the English language are, "I'm from the government and I'm here to help."